Hello friends, I am Dr. V.P. Deshpande, Head Department of Physics, Shivaji Arts, Commerce and Science College, Kannada. Now, atomic bomb and nuclear reactors. First of all, atomic bomb. Atomic bomb is also known as atom bomb. It is a weapon with great explosive power that results from the sudden release of energy upon the splitting or fission of the nuclei of such heavy elements like plutonium or uranium. When a neutron strikes the nucleus of an atom of isotopes uranium 235 or plutonium 239, it causes that nucleus to split into two fragments, each of which is a nucleus with about half the protons and neutrons of the original nucleus. In this process of splitting, a great amount of thermal as well as gamma rays and two or more neutrons is released. Under certain conditions, the escaping neutrons strike and thus fission more of the surrounding uranium nuclei, which then emit more neutrons that split still more nuclei. This series of rapidly multiplying fission culminates in the chain reactions in which nearly all the fissionable material is consumed in the process of generating the explosion of what is known as atomic bomb. Lots of isotopes of uranium can undergo fission, but uranium 235, which is found naturally at a ratio of about 1 part per every 139 parts of the isotopes uranium 238, undergoes fission more rapidly and emits more neutrons per fission than other such isotopes. Plutonium 239 has these same qualities. These are the primary fissionable material used in atomic bombs. A little sum of uranium 235 says 0.45 kilogram cannot undergo a chain reaction and is thus termed a subcritical mass. This is because on average the neutrons released by a fission are likely to leave the assembly without striking another nucleus. If extra uranium 235 is added to the assemblies, the chances of the neutrons release will lead to the fission or increased critical mass has been achieved and a chain reaction and thus an atomic explosion will result. Fission releases an enormous amount of energy relative to the material involved. When completely fissioned, 1 kilogram of uranium releases the energy equivalent produced by 17,000 tons or 17 kilotons of TNT. The explosion of an atomic bomb releases enormous amount of thermal energy or heat, achieving temperatures of several millions degrees. In exploding bomb itself, this thermal energy creates a large fireball, the heat of which can ignite ground fires that can in secret a entire small city. Now this is an example of uncontrolled chain reaction. Now controlled chain reaction is used in nuclear reactors which are most important to generate electricity. Now nuclear reactors are machines that convert energy stored in atoms into heat or electricity. During the fission of uranium 235, a large amount of energy is released in the atom bomb. A controlled chain reaction is taking place. A very large amount of energy is liberated in the extremely small interval of time. For this reason, it is not possible to direct this energy for any useful purpose. But a nuclear chain reaction is brought about the under control condition. If the chain reaction is put under control, a steady state is established. In a steady state, the rates of energy production also arrives at a constant level. A device in which energy is released at a given rate is known as nuclear reactor. Nuclear reactors consist of five main elements: the fissionable material called fuel, moderator, neutron reflector, cooling system, and the safety and control system. Now, fissionable substance. The usually used fissionable materials are uranium isotopes 233, uranium 238, thorium isotope thorium 232, and plutonium isotopes Pu 239, 240, 241. Moderator. The function of the moderator is to reduce the speed the highly energetic neutrons produced in the process of fission of uranium 235 to thermal energies. Heavy water deuterium oxide D2O, graphite, beryllium, etc. are used as a moderator. Preferably, moderators have low atomic weight and low absorption cross section. Neutrons reflector. The use of reflector on the surface of the reactor leakage of neutrons very much reduce and the neutron flux in the interior can be increased. Materials of high scattering cross sections and low absorption cross sections are good reflectors. Now, cooling systems. The cooling system removes the heat developed in the reactor core. This heat is grown from the kinetic energy of the fission fragments when they are slowed down in the fissionable substance and moderators. The coolant or heat transfer agent, water, steam, helium, carbon monoxide, air, and the certain molten metal and alloy, is pumped through the reactor core. Then, through a heat exchanger, the coolant transfer heat to the secondary thermal system of the reactor. Control and safety system. The control system enable the certain reaction to control and prevent it from spontaneously running away. This is carried by pushing control rod into the reactor core. These rods are of the material of boron or cadmium, having a large neutrons absorption cross section. These rods absorb the neutrons and hence cut down the reactivity by pushing the rods. Operations of the reactor can be made to die down by pulling them out of build up. The safety systems protect the space surrounding the reactor against intensive neutron flux and gamma rays. Exciting in the reactor core, this is achieved by surrounding the reactor with massive walls of the concrete. Now, the power reactors. A nuclear power reactor works to provide us with electricity by attaching the energy released by the nuclear fission reaction of radioactive fuel. The heat generated in the nuclear reactor is used for producing power in the nuclear power plant. Sho- Now the figure shows the components of power reactor. A quantity of enriched uranium in the form of pure metal or solutions of soluble salt in water constitutes the center of heat source. A large quantity of heat is produced in the fission process. The cadmium rods regulate the temperature to predetermined value. It is desired to bring down the temperature. The cadmium rods are pushed down further as to absorb more neutrons. If the temperature is increased, cadmium rods are pulled up a little. A fluid is spread through the shielded reactor and heat exchanger. The hot fluid, while falling through the heat exchanger, convert water into the steam. Steam produced runs conventional turbines to produce electricity. Now, the nuclear fusion. Now, in this process, two or more light nuclei can combine together to form a single nucleus. For example, two hydrogen nuclei, here is one hydrogen plus one hydrogen, formation of 1s2 deuteron nucleus. Then 1s2 plus 1s2 2h4, that is helium nucleus. This process is called as fusion process. And the mass of single nucleus form is always less than the sum of the masses of the individual. The difference in mass is converted into energy. According to Einstein's equation, E is equal to mc square. That is difference in the mass, which is converted to energy. Now, sources of stellar energy. The temperature of the stars are very high and they radiate tremendous amount of energy. The sun is one of the innumerable stars. The sun radiates 3.8 into 10 to the power 26 joules of the energy each second. The origin of such tremendous amount of energy is neither chemical nor gravitational. The fusion of proton is supposed to release the energy in the sun and in other stars. Bethe suggested the following carbon-nitrogen cycle as one of the most important nuclear reaction for the nucleus energy of the fusion. Now this is nuclear reaction, carbon plus 1H1 which is equal to nitrogen plus gamma. Now nitrogen converted to carbon plus 1 electron. Carbon is converted to 1 hydrogen. Added to hydrogen, we get nitrogen plus gamma, so on. In this cycle, chlorine 2 acts like a catalyst. The reaction cycle is essential in the reactions. Now, proton-proton cycle. In proton-proton chain, two protons first fuse to produce a deuterium nucleus, which combines with another protons to yield He3. Two He3 nuclei interact and form He4 and two protons. These reactions can be represented by the equation like this: 1H1 plus 1H1 which is equal to 1H2 plus electron plus gamma rays plus 0.42 MeV energy. Now 1H2 plus 1H1 which is converted to 2H3, also conversion of 2H3 plus gamma plus 5.5 million electron hole. Now 2S3 plus 2S3 which is beryllium 4 beryllium 6 to 2He4 plus 1H1 plus 1H1 plus 12.8 million electron hole. This is proton-proton cycle.